All right, it looks like we live. I hope everybody's feeling good out there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're watching a replay, give me a replay, gang. Make sure you put in the comments. As you know, we do this every single Friday. Every single Friday. That's the affirmation line for those that have been asking me. We've been having a lot of people asking about how to call in. If you're trying to call in, but your phone service is telling you something crazy, like, oh, you have to pay this amount per second, etc., just text message call me to the number and it'll call you right back immediately. TGIF, baby, TGIF. The grind includes Friday. The grind includes Friday. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm the founder of the Kaizen Academy and the creator of a technology that can grow any business just by looking at it in these 7 different categories. It's amazing. We call it the revenue acceleration cycle. And I'm feeling hella good today. What's up, Molly Mall? Hope you're feeling good, bro. This ain't the time to be humble, y'all. It's the time. Yeah, what's up, Chris? This ain't the time to be humble, y'all. This is the time to be shouting out what kind of business you have, how you impact the world. How is it that you are helping humanity? We want to know about it. This is the time to kind of put yourself out there so we can brag on you a little bit. All right then, South Carolina checking in. What you doing out there, bro? Yeah. So we started yesterday on this today's free coaching Friday, but yesterday we started on this series. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep that thing going today. If you have questions, you can definitely throw them in it. Mr. Terry checking in, Travis, that's what's up, April. Um as we get Kerman, Amin Ra. All right, so we getting this party started. Make sure you share this broadcast with a couple people. I'm about to do the same thing. I'm calling in on this live line as well. Let's get this party started. Um, uh-oh. All right, let's call in on this live line, get this party going.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on. Please. Thank you. Please announce yourself. Good morning. All participants are muted. All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves. Entry and exit tones are off.
Okay, good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning. My name's Haziq Ali. If you're just not tuning in, make sure you subscribe, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube, maybe you're checking us out on the phone line and someone text messaged you the number this morning. Make sure you spread it around. The universe gives to the givers just like it takes from the takers. You hear what I'm saying to you? Yesterday we started on this concept. We were talking about like all these ways that people waste time. People always come to me. Right now, I've heard it more often than usual because we're doing a 90-day challenge, right? Like we're promising that you're going to change your life. Your whole life is going to be different in 90 days if you'll just stay consistent. Consistency, lack of consistency is the subtle thief of dreams. Can somebody give me that in the comments? Lack of consistency is the subtle thief of dreams. If you're not consistent, what you're doing is giving your dreams away because you are confusing seeding time with harvest time. Listen, man, it's insidious, but it's popular. That's an insidious technique, but it's really, really popular. People confuse seeding time with harvest time. And the next thing you know, they just killing time. You hear what I'm saying to you? So yesterday, what we talked about was how making sure you don't get sucked into social media. We're going to get in, get out like a robbery. Y'all remember that? The second one we talked about yesterday was that we don't go through the day without agenda. We never let a day go by without agenda. We're not going to let the TV studio decide how we're going to spend our day. We're not going to let some Hollywood studio decide how we're going to spend our day. We're not going to let some creator of a video game decide how we're going to spend our day. Check this out. We ain't going to let our boss, we ain't going to let our manager decide how we're going to spend our day. We're going to make sure we have an agenda. What a tragedy if we spend most of our time and energy helping a business or a boss who, if we drop dead tomorrow, the help wanted ad would be up Monday morning. What a tragedy. What a tragedy if we let our day be full of busy work and we never get anything productive done. I just want you to be aware of that. So we're never going to go through the day without agenda. The third one is the productive and the successful, they don't do emotionally draining. They don't do emotionally draining. Like, maybe for you, that's a work in progress like it is for me. Sometimes you'll get into a mind state where maybe your energy will start to sap out. You'll feel your shoulders slumping. That's why every morning we do a state change so that you have the ability to change the way you feel, because successful people don't do emotionally draining. You guys remember this? And then the fourth one we gave yesterday is that we don't worry about stuff we can't control. We don't worry about stuff we can't control. So I'm gonna give you these last four. We'll open this up a minute. We only got about 27 minutes to get this party started. To get this party going. So if you have a question, this is not the time to be shy. Like, let's get to it and let's see if we can't affect some change in your business. Here's number 5 I got for you this morning. Productive, successful. I'm talking about the world class don't hang out with negative people, especially during this 90-day challenge. When you see all this love in the comments, you see all this love amongst our tribe, you got to holler at Michelle. You got to holler at how Adam gonna have Nelson Mandela. That lets you know everything you need to know about Adam, right? You got to holler at Demeter. You got to holler at Crystal. You know what I mean? You got to, yeah, Jamal, we do what you be. We do what you be. The subtle thief. That's right. But my point is, you got to stop hanging around negative people and hang on to people that can give you some level of increase. It's always been said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to be the best, what you do is surround yourself with the best people. You've got to get to a place where you're okay eliminating toxicity, where you're okay eliminating people who drain you. If you want to soar in life, you're kind of like a hot air balloon, right? There's no way you can do it if you've got all these sandbags around it. You got to let some of them things go so you can rise. Your natural state is to rise, right? They call it a standard because it's not supposed to be lowered. But what will happen is, because of a phenomenon called homeostasis, you'll get around certain people and then you'll begin to adjust. So my mentor asks a really deep question from time to time. He says, who are you keeping pace with? Who are you keeping pace with? Can somebody write that in the comments and then give me a share? Who are you keeping pace with? Would be number 5. Who are you keeping pace with? I want to encourage you to look at that, because that could be a waste of time. Here's number 6. The world class don't stick around dwelling on past mistakes. The world class ain't here to just dwell on past mistakes. Millionaires, everybody makes mistakes. Successful people make mistakes. People who are kind of slipping make mistakes. But I want you to think about it. Everybody makes mistakes. Here's the difference when you're talking about the world class. The difference when you're talking about the world class is that the successful in life are looking to not make the same mistake twice. Do you hear me? The successful, the world class, are learning and growing from the mistakes, becoming a better person because of the mistakes, embracing mistakes to the point that they want to hurry up and make some more of them. They just want to make different mistakes. What I want to challenge you to do is make some different mistakes today. I want you to be excited about even your mistakes. That's one of my favorite affirmations we say every morning. I am so happy and grateful for even my mistakes because I learn from them so quickly. Isn't that amazing? If you're ready for number 7, then let's move on. Let's move on. Here's number 7, y'all. The world class don't focus on what other people are doing. The world class don't. Appreciate that, Mariana. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Thank you for the shares. The universe gives to the givers and takes from the takers. I'm gonna leave that right there. You know what I mean? But check it out. Number 7 is the world class don't focus on what other people are doing. This social media world will mess you up. That's why we put that one as one of the first ones about avoiding distraction with this social media stuff. Check it out. It's great to be inspired by what other people are doing, but when you're constantly comparing yourself to the next person, it's bringing you down because it's just a natural thing that you'll automatically begin comparing your behind the scenes because you're so aware of it, right? You know what you're going through. You know how this person's slowing up this deal you were supposed to do. You know this person keeps on procrastinating with calling you back. You know that like all your plans fell apart when you had put such precise intention to it, right? But see, when you're looking at their sort of like highlight reel, it's hard to come. I mean, it's hard to even feel in the same realm. So let me tell you what you do. Don't focus on what other people are doing. Focus on what other people did. You hear what I'm saying to you? In other words, stop focusing so much on the result and start paying attention to the process. See, if we're going to match results, some steps come first. If ever you want to duplicate someone else's results, here's all you got to do. Somebody put this in the comments. All you have to do is model their mentality, their character, and their habits. If you ever want to replicate somebody else's results, all you have to do is model their mentality, their character, and their habits. And before you know it, you will have their same results. You'll have their same results. So that's what I wanted to give you as a caveat for not focusing on what other people are doing. I want you to realize what you would be doing better to do is focus on what other people did. What was their process? not what did it produce, not what was their harvest, what was their process. You hear me? All right, and here's the last one I got for you as we wind this thing up, and then maybe there's some questions. Maybe there's some questions that we come through. Okay, Molly Ma, I love that, bro. I love that. All right, here's the last one I got for you. Then we're going to try and get into some questions before we get out of here. It's Free Coaching Friday, so you can unmute your line. *6 will unmute your line. Let us know your name, what kind of business you have, and what your question is. But before you do, here's number 8, y'all. Productive, successful people do not put themselves last priority. There's no way you can do that and keep winning. The world class, we all go through times where we don't get enough sleep. We all go through times where we don't get enough exercise because we need to work on some big project. Maybe we're doing a 90-day challenge, huh? But if you're looking at long-term success, if you're looking at long-term happiness, you're going to have to put yourself first on the list. Maybe you kickstart your day by doing something you love. Maybe you kickstart your day by getting busy in the gym. Maybe you just walk around the block. You hear me? You hear me? What I'm trying to say to, listen to me. You've got to take some time for you. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's meditating, maybe it's journaling. I was so proud of my daughter last night when I walked in the room and she's actually using this journal that I got her. It made me feel so good. Millionaires, you got to do a little something for you. And I love the fact that my daughter is journaling because what I was telling her is what I'm going to tell y'all. A lot of times you don't know what you like. You just like what you know. Right? You just like what you know. And so when you're journaling, you're doing that for you because you're allowed to kind of like put some thoughts on paper and analyze where you are in this thing. Wisdom don't come from the past and the time. Wisdom comes from introspection. Sometimes what you journal allows you to have better conversations with your friends, better conversations with your family, better conversations with your support system. There are pieces of a dream that still haven't been given to you yet. Maybe it's waiting behind you, taking some time out for yourself, doing what works for you. When you start off your day doing something you love, something that's good for you, you're going to feel happy. You're going to feel focused. You're going to feel strong the rest of the day. So that's where I'm at with it this morning. But I know somebody just unmuted their line. Good morning, millionaire. You're going to take us out of here. We got about 10 minutes left. And then we got to get to our affirmations and then get to this day. So if you have a question, throw it in the comments. You know, and if you are rocking with us on the Millionaire Mind Line, sounds like somebody unmuted themselves. We want to hear you. What's your name? What kind of business do you have? Good morning, millionaire.
Good morning. My name is Shantae McLaughlin. I'm new. I'm under 30 days. William Gordon brought me in.
Nice.
And my business is, let's see, I'm an activist. I advocate around criminal justice reform, mental health rights, and the rights of the homeless. And I have a company in which everyone I work with works with marginalized communities. I refuse a client unless they're working to impact the conversation for marginalized communities.
Come on.
And I'm running for city council in East Point in 2021. And my background is radio marketing and sales. So my question is, what is the law of average when you're just getting started as far as numbers wise? Like every day I reach out to about 10 to 12 people and I have the conversation primarily about loans and financing. And so we're sending out presentations like, what's the average when you're just getting started? Is it like, and I know there's no magic formula, but I know when you're new compared to having some experience knowing the language, it may look a little different. Or is there a particular language? Because I know our language creates our world. So is there a particular language that we can use when we're just getting started to impact those numbers?
Yes, ma'am. So for everybody, a great question, Queen. And shouts out to Mr. William Gordon for plugging you in with us. I love that. So what she asked everybody, if you couldn't hear, she said, what's the law of averages when you're brand new? For everybody that's not aware of the law of averages or the law of large numbers, what we're referring to is that entrepreneurship is three different things at once. It's always philosophical, it's always psychological, and it's always numerical. Those are the three worlds your business is existing in. It's the psychology. It's how you're doing what it is you're doing. It's not the how to, it's the how you do the how to that counts, right? If a 3-year-old said the same words that I said, I'm probably going to deliver it a little bit differently. You get what I mean? So some of it is who you are. You have to become more if you want more. Then you have the psychological pieces, right? Not just the philosophical, like who am I? How do I see the world? But then you have the psychological pieces, like what am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? What is my jewel that keeps me focused? What is my list of reasons why? Now we're getting into psychology, right? So there's philosophy, there's psychology, but then there's the numbers. Okay, so I love the fact that this question was asked because a lot of people don't understand what a powerful concept the law of large numbers is. Check this out. Casinos get rich off the law of large numbers. Can somebody give me that in the comments, the law of large numbers or the law of averages? What this means is big groups, individual people, it's really hard to predict what they're going to do. You're just watching this person walk down the street or you're watching this person walk through the casino. What are they going to do? We don't know. You can change factors by putting this sort of sign in front of them. You can change factors by what is the weather outside. Maybe they come inside versus outside. There are different things that change, but it's hard to predict what one person is going to do. Here's the wild part, though. As hard as it is to predict what one person is going to do, that's how easy it is to predict what a group will do. Whenever you have a group of people, it gets so freaking easy to predict their behavior. So instead of looking at one person, you look at a group of 100. So when you're asking about the law of averages, the first thing that you need to do is start to establish a ratio. We got to start jumping out there talking to people. After you talk to about 10, maybe a ratio starts to form. Wow, out of every 10 people I talk to, I'm able to get 4 appointments. Out of every 10 people I talk to, I'm able to get 6 people that respond at all. Out of 10 people that I inbox on LinkedIn or on 10 people that I inbox on Instagram, I notice 8 of them do this, 2 of them do that. Ratios start to appear. That's how you begin to track. So I wanted to give that basis before I give the answer that I really want to give. And she touched on it near the end of her question, but William is going to plug you in with specific language that will help you to increase that ratio. Because here's what nobody discusses when you're talking about selling finances, when you talk about selling financial services. I don't care if you're talking about selling lawn care. There are pieces, no one expects you to know the skill set to every career on the planet day one. That would be ridiculous of us. But here's what we know. Every career has a skill set. Every professional has a set of tools. A surgeon uses a scalpel. An entrepreneur uses their tongue. They use their language. They use language patterns. We should be using trained language. And so there are different things that you can do that will ruin your ratio. That's why I'm careful when I tell people about going for no. Because goodness knows, if I come up to you and I say, would you like, listen, I just recently got involved in, I know you're going to say no. You're going to start thinking about different ways to tell me no, and I haven't even done the sentence yet. Or if I say, would you be interested in, you're automatically going to say no. And if I keep saying the same thing, expecting a different result, I'm insane. So I love the law of large numbers, but at the same time, I want us to also make sure that we are using our scalpel. We're a surgeon. So we don't have the luxury to swing this thing around and cut somebody randomly. We're a surgeon. That means we were taught to go in there. We know exactly when to use this one. We know exactly when to use this. We know exactly when to use that. But what we can't do is think it happens day one. So William's going to plug you into a lot of the language, Queen. But what I want you to kind of look at is that as you begin to dive in, a ratio is going to appear. You can't stop it from happening. And the fun of life is in the progress. The fun is at that first 10, you may only sign up one person. That second 10, you may only sign up 2. But a year from now, Queen, I just want you to think long term. If we even gonna call 365 days long term, that ain't nothing but a couple hundred days. I don't know if I'm dating myself, but check it out. 300 days is starting to seem like nothing. I remember it was just now 2018. My point is, the time is going to pass anyway. We might as well do the time, not let the time do us. You hear me? We might as well invest the time, not kill the time. And that's why we started off with this type of training. I applaud and honor that question. And I love the fact that you're rocking with William, because I know one thing about William is he's a student and he's going to plug you into these specific scripts that we give you. We're going to use magical words that open the person up, because what we know about the human mind, Queen, is that people make the decision before they have all the information. Can somebody give me that in the comments? We make decisions before we have all the information. Anybody out there ever been married? No, I'm just playing. But we make the decision before we have all the information. It's the way the brain works. It's the way the brain works. So I want to start teaching us better ways to conjure that decision. All we do is give them an option, and then we take the volunteers. We're not pressing nobody out. We're not manipulating anybody. We're not doing high pressure sales like something. No, we just give options and we take the volunteers. And I'm going to show you a lot of cool ways to do that, Queen. So stay close. Was this helpful?
That was very helpful, very helpful. And the West Coast is like, I kind of feel in some ways there's some pressure. Like during COVID, I watched my credit score drop by over 100 points. And in running, there's a qualifying period where I have to disclose financials. So you guys are doing a great job with the credit. But it's like looking at ways, like things to add in without working myself to exhaustion, adding in clients to impact my finances, to impact my debt ratio. So that's more of the background of where the question was posed from.
Yeah.
Which as I'm asking it, I get the energy, which is why I probably have a low closing ratio right now, because it's coming from a space of desperation instead of a space of help and service.
Woo! You better preach.
As I'm asking a question.
And also what'll happen.
Thank you. You answered the question and then I answered it.
I love it.
So thank you.
I love it. I love it. So many times the answer is within the question itself. That's why they say you judge a man not by his answers. You judge a man by his questions. You judge a woman by their, and I use judge loosely, but I'm sure everybody gets what I mean. We need better questions, y'all. And so that was a really, really good question. I'm so glad you were transparent and meek enough to be vulnerable for us. Anybody else? We got time for maybe one or two more. It's yeah. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Yes, sir.
What's going on? It's Coach Flono, by the way of Atlanta, Georgia. I had a two-part question real quick, okay?
Yeah, man.
All right. So the first part is at what level should you stop recruiting 100%? And what are some tips that you can give to keep newer people from being overwhelmed by learning this new skill set?
Okay, so great question. When you say at what level should you stop 100% recruiting, that's a tricky one. But what I will say is that I don't know many people who should be, because every organization is going to experience growth and then maintenance, and then they're going to experience regression or attrition. That's the way any business works, right? So what you want to be doing is keeping in mind that when you're pushing a car down the road, it's going to take all your effort to get that bad boy going, right? So that's what a 90-day challenge does. It puts all your effort into pushing that car. But then we both know, we've all done this, Jamal. You'll get that bad boy rolling, and now you can keep it rolling with one arm, right? You can just keep it rolling with one arm. You don't even need it. Now somebody can run in, get in the car, start steering it a little bit, because now we got that thing rolling. Well, that's how it is with your business. You're going to push with all of your might, get that thing rolling, and then you're kind of developing your leaders. You're developing your leaders, but you never want to stop bringing in more people, because the way you keep your old group inspired is introducing them to your new group. Now, I know I'm not going too high level for Jamal, but I hope I didn't lose whoever he's asking this question for. All right. And then leading to the second question, when you talk about not being overwhelmed, I want you to remember, and I say this all the time, but I'm going to give it to you. Somebody give me this in the comments. Success is like breathing. The last breath is extremely important, but it's nowhere near as important as the next breath. You caught that, Jamal? Success is like breathing, bro. We worried about our last breath, but the one we got to trip off right now is what? Our next breath, right? So what I'm saying is, with all of these steps, all of these different pieces that we're pulling out in this 90-day challenge, you don't have to get overwhelmed, because you get to do whatever you want. All you're doing is scoring your 100 points a day. So if this one right here wants to do that by just doing content videos, then that's cool. If this one right here wants to hurry up and get no's from 2 of their negative family members, well, that's cool. At least you scored your points. You already knew they was going to say no. But what's more important, Jamal, is that all we're looking to do is find and develop leaders. All we're looking to do is locate and develop leaders. With that said, we know we're just looking to create the habits. We know we're just looking to create the habits. Nobody can change their whole life by changing their whole life. That's not how it works. How you change your whole life is by changing one habit. You change one thing that you do daily, and your whole life is going to look different. It's weird, but it's true. We're going to talk about that a little bit in today's newsletter, right? I want to suggest that everybody sign up for the newsletter at wearemillionaireminded.com. I think today's newsletter comes out at like 3:30 p.m. But I get a little bit into that in the newsletter. Every newsletter has mindset, skill set, and heart set in it, right? You know, that's what we're all about here, helping you work on your mindset, your skill set, and your heart set. I think you're going to get a big kick out of today's newsletter, Jamal. So make sure that you register for that at wearemillionaireminded.com. But how you keep from getting overwhelmed, y'all, is clarity. Somebody give me that in the comments. Clarity always kills overwhelm. Clarity always kills overwhelm. So that's where you want to go. You want to be super clear on what it is you're doing. Listen, I appreciate those questions. That was actually 2 questions, so that took us on out of here. Well done, Mr. Flono. It's affirmation time, y'all. Hope everybody got something out of this morning. You can call in on the live line, and what you'll discover is that, you know, we are going to do something real crazy, man. We're going to say a bunch of affirmations in unison. And we chant these things like madmen. And this is us taking time out for our day. I know we're going to sound weird to some of you, right? Some of y'all ain't going to be with it, but that's okay. We know we're out the ordinary. We know we're thinking out the box. But I'm going to tell you something. That's where the instructions always are. On the outside of the box. You're never going to get there thinking inside the box. So repeat after me, millionaires. Say it like you mean it. I am